In the words of Ecclesiastes, a season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven. A time for dancing and a time for wailing, a time for birthing and a time for dying, a time for speaking and a time for silence, a time for seeking and a time for losing. Time of mourning is a complicated time filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet. We begin our service with the recitation of psalms and prayers, thus linking Bill's life with the 3,000-year-old tradition of the people Israel and the eternity of God. I invite you, if you wish, to recite with me Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Share with you a modern meditation. After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and that company doesn't always mean security. And you learn that kisses aren't contracts and presents aren't promises. And you begin to accept your defeats with your head up and your eyes straight ahead, with the grace of a woman or a man, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling down in mid-flight. After a while, you learn that even sunshine burns if you bask too much. So you plant your own garden, you decorate your own soul, instead of waiting for someone to bring you flowers. You learn that you really can endure, that you really are strong, that you really have worth. And you learn, and you learn. With every goodbye, you learn. When we met yesterday, I was really taken by that very simple story, but the story about how when your dad was away and would come back from a trip, and he would always bring you little gifts. You know, I think about that from my own children when they were younger, and you know, something that can be purchased quite quickly or acquired quite quickly, but means so much to the person on the receiving end. So Marla, Mindy, and Kathy, I was reminded of that and thinking about those little gifts and what that means for us today. Like any kid, you look forward to those gifts every single time, and these gestures are such an important reminder about those little things and how much they make a difference. As we look back on the lives of loved ones who have breathed their last breaths, it is the little things, the little memories that make up the big patchwork of our lives. It's very rare that we take the grand stage with our actions in our lives. It's more common to remember those little things. And so today, we'll share some memories of a man who lived a very long life and whose life we can never encompass in a simple ceremony right here, but to pick on those little things, to share those pieces that were true to Bill Spero. He was born to Fred and Ida raised in Cleveland Heights. I looked through the file at Temple, and I discovered he was confirmed at Park Synagogue, which I don't know if we arrived at.
That's right.
At least that's what he wrote down on the membership form. And a bar mitzvah, it said, and confirmed there. Graduated from Heights High. Attended The Ohio State University. I believe that came before he served in the Coast Guard. He was stationed on Lake Erie there. And after the military, Bill went to work for his dad, his father, at Dad and Son Menswear, first at 105th and Euclid, and later at the Parmatown Mall. Later, Bill fulfilled his lifelong goal to own a restaurant business as a proprietor and partner with the Lion and Lamb restaurant at Lander Circle in Pepper Pike. Truth be told, Bill just loved food, and certainly had quite a significant sweet tooth. Yes, he loved his steak, but he also loved his candy, desserts, chocolate milkshakes, and just about everything forbidden by Gail to enter into the home. And when Gail made the mistake of asking Bill to do the shopping, he would invariably return with goodies. Like Entenmann's cakes that he would need to hide somewhere where only he could find them. And at home, Bill was also on duty to prepare Sunday brunch, maybe make pancakes. But silliness aside, Bill and Gail met at Harvey's restaurant, at least that's the legend, and were married at the Tudor Arms Hotel. They shared a devoted marriage of 66 years, filled with seasons of joy and moments of challenge. Theirs was traditional for their generation. Bill brought home the proverbial bacon, and Gail was the homemaker, providing dinner every night, and often he would arrive home well after dinner time, and probably well after you all maybe had gone to bed in your earlier days, but leftovers were always saved for him. Bill and Gail had a range of couple friends and enjoyed celebrating the Jewish holidays and Memorial Day picnics with family. And on Passover, Bill would cook his famous matzah brie. There were family trips to Florida and West Virginia, and even to New York City where you could go see a show. And some of those outings dovetailed with business at a buyer's convention or something of that sort. The girls were lucky enough to come along with Gail. Bill loved sports, and more sports, and more sports. He was a good Clevelander who loved the Ohio State Buckeyes, but also loved the Browns and the Indians and the Cavaliers, perhaps following a love for sports that went all the way back to his childhood when he may have played catcher way back when. Bill also loved Hollywood movies, especially the Westerns. He was a car enthusiast too. I wish I would have talked to him about the 1968 Dodge Dart convertible that's in my garage. I'm sure he would have loved tinkering around with that. But he did enjoy tinkering around with different rides at different times. I think he even was a used car, in the used car business for a little bit as a salesman. He even liked just looking over the car dealerships, just going to dealerships. Marla remembers tagging along with her dad on those trips. Bill was a proud grandfather to Kelly, Jacqueline, Samantha, and Dara, great-grandfather to Dominic, Layla, Austin, and Olivia. He was a loving brother to Betty, who is here today, and we're so glad that you can pay your brother honor today, Betty. As we remember Bill in all the special facets, all of who he was and what he accomplished in his life, we can regard them as the little gifts, the little memories that we have of him, that we're able to hang our memories on. These are gifts that we can always remember, gifts of the heart and gifts of the home. And we know that Gail was such an important part of his life, and the two of them complemented one another in how they were as a couple, and also how they raised a family and a home. And we are sending out loving vibes to Gail, who's not here right now, but we know how much her heart was with Bill, and her heart is with Bill today. Gifts of the heart, gifts of the home that will always remain. Today, the legacy he leaves, including 3 very strong daughters, maybe stronger than he imagined they would be. Maybe a person in his generation not recognizing that those cute little girls grow up to be beautiful women who are independent and strong and loving themselves. And whether wittingly or not, he contributed to who you are today, the kind of people you are. May Bill's memory forever be a blessing. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Share with you these words. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. I invite you now, as you are able, to rise at your seats for the chanting of El Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'malot Kedoshim Utorim, Kezoar Rakia Mazirim, Et Nishmat Velvo Ben Fred Ve'aida Shalach Le'olamo Began Eden Tehei Menuchato Ana Balarachamim Astirehu Beseter Kenafecha Le'olamim Utror bitror achayim et nishmato Adonai unachalato V'yanuach b'shalom al mishkavo v'nomar Amen. El Malei Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of William H. Spero, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. We now continue with the mourner's Kaddish. You have your card with you. It is the tradition for immediate mourners that would include children, and Betty, you as well, to read the Kaddish. Ken, you are welcome to do so as well. The mitzvah, the obligation, the sacred obligation is for you to read it. I'll read it along with you. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei bechayechom uvyomechom uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam alomei omayah. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru. Oseh shalom b'mromav u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imaru. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say together, Amen. I want to take this time, and whoever is watching right now via stream here, we appreciate it. I know the family appreciates you being here, and even though you're not here physically, they feel your presence here today. And thank you for being here. You comfort them by being part of this service today.